Hey everybody, hope you're well, and it's James here over the Part-Time Entrepreneur, and today we can look at Cardano. Now, this is one I've been wanting to review for some time. I've been invested for a little while now, made some huge gains, so I just want to really run through and give you a real simplified overview of what these guys are trying to do. Now, I apologise for lighting today. For some reason, it's making me look like David Dickinson or someone who's just walked off the set of Towie or something, so apologies for that, but let's get stuck into today's review. Now, where are we? That's a great place to start. So the first thing is that we had Bitcoin, very innovative. However, it came with a lot of some issues. There wasn't forethinking in terms of where it would go, but it was very good at the time when it was launched. However, we've hit some roadblocks. Then we've seen, something like Ethereum, where we could, they could amend stuff, so they could upgrade it, they could do different things. Again, Ethereum has hit some roadblocks. We've got this 911, it's the better version of, but then a couple of kitties come along and put Ethereum on its knees. And then we have Cardano. Now, I see this as the generation 2 911, absolutely the dog's nuts in that sense, where they're very, very clever guys. We can talk about the team in a little bit, but they're very much cherry picking the best of everything, putting it together, putting it in white papers, doing a lot of research with other universities to come up with the premium solution to some of the key problems. So there are three key issues currently in cryptocurrency. The first one is scalability. So obviously you've got transaction speed per second. That's obviously the key one, and we're always comparing against the Visa cards and all this type of stuff. Then we've got bandwidth and also data scale. Now, Cardano have two solutions to these problems. Ouroboros, where the first is going to be proof of stake. So obviously, we don't want to be working with proof of work all the time. I know it's very good in terms of the points of security. No one's ever hacked Bitcoin, but it's not exactly environmentally friendly for the planet. And also on the second point, it's also quite expensive. I think at the moment Bitcoin's running at $300,000 an hour in terms of what it's costing to produce Bitcoins, which is crazy, and long term probably not so sustainable. The other thing is they're making it quantum resistant, so I think by the end of 2018 that will be one of the key things. And also they're making it modular, so they can stage and add and build. And also they're looking at real key security elements, because obviously moving to proof of stake, there's questions about security. But one of those things is that they're really trying to address that, and they're doing that with some key solutions. They've got Rena there as well, which is another solution that they're bringing to the table. Now, there's some great videos out there that will go through this. It's over an hour or so in absolute detail if you want it. I'm going to put the links at the bottom so you can see those as well. But today it's just a real sort of brief overview. And the other thing is just compressing the data via sort of side chains. So really looking at some key solutions and looking at the market and what other people are doing, what's working, what hasn't worked. So the other key issue is improbability. And really, in layman's terms, what this means is they're trying to bridge the gap between the banks and cryptocurrency without a third party, pretty much, using cross-chain transfers. We've also seen things like atomic swap. Komodo has been, the price of Komodo has been rocketing based on some of these things. And also, they have a white paper in progress which is looking to address these things. So they're looking at how can we just easily bridge the gap between the two, so that overall there won't be one dominant coin, that we can have all these different currencies and they will interact with each other without causing too many issues. And Cardano is going to be able to do that. So that's one of the key things that they're looking at the moment, and they're working with great universities around the world to be able to do that. So the third thing is sustainability, and it's how do we pay for things? That's the first question. Well, they've been looking at the treasury model like Dash, because that's worked incredibly well. So they'll see with the proof of work, they pay the miners, and they also take a small slice which goes back into the treasury fund. And obviously if you hold Dash, you get voting rights, etc., and you can vote on different things. But what that's really essentially done is created this self-paying system, so they can continually do upgrades, put all these ideas forward to make it better. Also, for things like marketing as well. So one of the big things I've seen from Dash is that they are looking to advertise when the Super Bowl is on. That was one of the big things that came through. I think they will do it eventually, because that will give it so much exposure to pretty much the biggest sporting event in America. So that's pretty cool. And the other one is, where should they go? So they want to have these improvement proposals coming forward, so they can continually just make things better. Because as we looked at the Porsche example in the very beginning, you could start with a great product, but if you don't continue to improve on it, it's just going to get dated and old, and you're not going to bring in new customers or new people to use your product. The other thing is, it gets rid of hard and soft forks. I don't know how many we've had on Bitcoin now, but they're just getting a bit annoying, and I just can't be bothered with them, if in all honesty. I kept my Bitcoin Cash, and that was about it, really. So I've sort of just switched off to that. And the other thing is, obviously, the key thing is they're working with smart contracts, which is obviously what we've seen with Ethereum, and when we talk about it later, which makes them part of a key competitor against these guys. You may have heard the expression the Japanese Ethereum, and really where that's come down to is that in the pre-ICO and ICO, most of the tokens were sold to Japan. As you can see here, it gives you a sort of a list of countries and stuff, but most of it, 94.45%, went all the way to Japan, which is just crazy. And it's interesting, if you look on their site, they're very open about who bought what age, etc., etc. You can see that my age group bought the most, 35 to 44. You're probably thinking, you're not that old. I appreciate that. I'll take that one. So their website's absolutely brilliant. There's loads of stuff on there. They also have the wallet available to download. So this is just an example of sort of taking the numbers off and bits and pieces just for security purposes. But what you can see, that the wallet is available. You can download it. You can also pick ADA, which is the currency of Cardano, on Bittrex and also Binance. So those two websites. I think there is a third as well that you can pick up the tokens as well. So now we'll have a look at the roadmap. Now, one of the cool things I like about this is, at first they didn't have one, and now they've got this one, and I've got to say it's one of the best I've seen. So you've got all the different projects they're working on, who's working on them, all the linked articles to it. You can also, they've got pictures of what they're working on, so you can have a quick look. So we're going to have a quick look on this one here. You can just see everything. It's like a live in-action roadmap that you can follow. There's so many different bits and pieces that they're working on at the moment. You can just go through, you can have a look, you can click on the pictures, you can look at the Reddit articles, etc. You don't have to wait for Twitter updates and all the rest of it. And as you go to the bottom, it obviously tells you when the next update is as well. I think a lot more projects could benefit from something like this and having more transparency. The only other company that I see this sort of transparency with is sort of 10x, really. So these guys are really active on social media. You can see here with their Twitter page. I mean, it's updated all the time. They've got loads of followers, loads of different articles on there that you can look into. One of these ones, which I was looking at the other day, they've got more than 150,000 users. So again, would explain some of the explosive growth that we've had quite recently. They also have a huge team. Now, this is just a few faces I've taken off the site. I think I've seen Duncan quite a lot in some of the videos. But yeah, they've got a huge team, very experienced, lots of incredibly clever people. They've even got their own team for the wallet as well. But the two people that really stick out for me are these two guys. So Charles Hoskinson and Jeremy Wood. And the reason that these guys stick out for me is the fact that they worked at, or CEO of Ethereum. So these guys, they're not novices to this. These are very experienced, innovative guys. And if you watch any of Charles's videos, I mean, that was the main reason that I invested in Cardano, because when I watched the video with this guy in it, he just blew me away with his knowledge, his very logical thinking, how he thinks not just of now and the next year, but further into the future to sort of future-proof, not only Cardano as the next currency as such, and all the other functions that it will do, but also my investment at the end of the day, because that's what if I'm investing in something, I'm investing in something because I believe in the people and the team to be able to make sure that in 10, 20 years time that it's still going, they're still being innovative, they're still, making all the changes that's required to make it the best in the marketplace. Because if it's not, people will just switch to something else, and then obviously your investment will go down. But that's what I really like about these guys. Very, very good. And obviously their bigger company, obviously Input Output Hong Kong, is where they're channeling through Cardano. Also, I follow TEDx a lot. Find, great information on there. They invited Charles onto TEDx. They don't just invite anybody. So for me, again, it's another little tick in the box to say, this guy's got incredible credibility in terms of what he could potentially deliver for this business. So we've seen some explosive growth with Cardano recently. And my own personal beliefs is one, that it's got a solid team. And when you watch any of the videos, you just buy into Charles straight away, because he's just how he thinks, how he explains things. He's very, very technical, more technical than I'll ever wish to be or want to be. But I understand what he's saying when he says stuff, to the degree that I know to invest, if that makes sense. Also, we've seen a lot of people do a lot of coverage on Cardano, so it's had a lot of exposure in terms of social media, Reddit, all these types of things. And also, you can have the big boys jumping in, because they will be very aware of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, and all that, and missed out on some crazy growth that hopefully you guys got in on. When I bought Ethereum at $8, that was really what brought me to the table in January. I bought in, I made some incredible big gains, and that's what got my portfolio started. So a lot of people don't want to miss out on the potential gains that Ethereum brought. And again, if we look at total supply, we're looking at some completely different numbers. But as we've seen, I bought in at 2 cents and I've seen 1,400% return so far. My portfolio has exploded, I'm sure, with most others, because I'm holding quite a lot of alts at the moment. So it's been incredible. And the thing is, they've gone to number 7. They've shot up into the top 10. And not only that, with an 11 billion market cap, which is just huge. So that the big investors are coming in, they're speculating on their investments here, and they're coming in really to sort of, they don't want to miss out on what the Ethereum bought. And if this can be the next Ethereum, then they want to be in early, they want the smart money in, and that's why we're seeing, I think, there's so much explosive growth, which is great, absolutely brilliant to see, and also the support that it's getting. So there are some key competitors out there, and some of them will be EOS, Ethereum itself, the smart contracts, IOTA. But for me, they're sort of they're trying to be the Rolls Royce of currency at the moment, in a sense. So they're taking all the best bits from everybody. So they're taking the best bits with the smart contracts from Ethereum. They're looking at Dash, and they're saying, you've got this great sort of treasury model, so we're going to put that in. So taking all the best bits and putting it in together to create this Royal Royce, which they're calling Cardano. And that's what I really, really like about that. Again, there's always going to be, no matter what type of coin you put together and put out in the marketplace, there's always going to be a competitor. There's always going to be someone trying to outdo you and do it better. But I really believe in these guys because of how they think and who they've got behind the project and where they want to take things. So in summary, I think these guys have got an incredibly strong team, probably one of the strongest in the marketplace. They are solving real life problems. So they're taking all the issues that cryptocurrency has and getting the best minds behind it to try and come up with the best solutions. Now, they've already got some in place, which they're stress testing, and there's some others that they will come up with, and really this is a long-term investment. So some of this stuff we won't see the fruits of labor until sort of mid-2018, even into 2019. But I really like is that they're future-proofing cryptocurrency for the long term. The amount of stuff that's coming out in the marketplace, like Titty Token and all these, just nonsense, absolute nonsense. It's going to have these big spikes and a bit of hype behind it, and then it's just going to die a death. If this is, if we're looking for cryptocurrency to play a part in the future, then we need to be future-proofing it, and these guys are doing that, and that's what I'm so impressed with, and what I really, really like about this project. Now, if you like the videos, you want me to keep doing more, please comment about which ones you'd like. Please obviously like and comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at JamesBull_UK. And you can join my my free community group where, you know, talked about some of the calls. You can get some of them. It would be PT Cryptocurrency Community. Love to have you in the group. Come and join us. We'd love to hear your views on coins, investments and stuff. And like always, you know, all the stuff we've gone through today is just my own personal views. There's no financial advice here. It's just to give you guys a real sort of simple breakdown and a bit of an overview of what Cardano is. All right, thanks guys.